actual makeup room that we used to do the makeup room in. And we've already glued the ball cap on, just to get ahead of ourselves. You keep going. It's all very exciting. So yeah, what we're doing is going to show you Professor Flitwick, the creation of my character from Harry Potter. I played the character in it was from movie number 3 onwards, so you've seen him many times. Initially, the makeup was a foam prosthetic, but now it is made of patcha. Is that correct, Nick?
Yep.
Yeah. Which is lovely.
I was
going to say, this is when you have a lot of prosthetic makeups done as an actor. It actually becomes quite traumatic, almost, especially for these guys applying it. Just the smell of the glue and that sort of thing at 4 o'clock in the morning is not terribly pleasant.
Make it fit.
But it's weird sitting here actually looking at all of you. Normally I spend 2.5 hours looking at myself. So it's slightly odd. I feel this grappling going on behind me.
His head's a different shape than it was.
Oh, I see, that's what's going on. Blame me.
No, we'll just pack it. His head does get bigger as the day goes on.
What I want to say to all of you, and it's not being demonstrated terribly well here, don't block me please, is that you should always nurture and care for the actor in the makeup chair. So please do ignore the way that I'm currently being treated. This isn't how you should go on to do makeups in the future. So just wanted to make sure you know that. So one thing that I think we should talk about is obviously how we get to this stage here. We've got makeup pieces and they're all beautifully painted and presented, but before that, other processes have to take place to enable us to get to where we are. And I brought a little clip along with me of a life casting process, so you can just see what happens to an actor just before all of this insult occurs. And it's actually a life cast that was done on my daughter, Annabelle, who was in Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows Part 2. So while the assault on me continues, let's just have a look at this brief clip of a life cast. But I mean, it's just to be serious now for a moment. will only be for one moment, but it's really important for me as an actor, certainly, to be able to work with really good makeup artists. Because when you're an actor and you're going out onto set, there's nothing worse than going on the set and being slightly ashamed of the makeup that you're wearing. But I will see this sort of work as a team effort. So in other words, you know, it's kind of an effort between Nick, the people who design the makeup, the people who apply the makeup, and then for me as a performer to show that makeup to its best on set. And it's also great when you have a makeup designer who can work with an actor, in other words, so they don't over-design the makeup so it looks fantastic, but it's impossible to act with. But Nick's always very considerate of who's wearing it and how it will end up moving ultimately on screen as well, which...
I just say, rule number one, never try and stick the chin up on an actor's top.
Yes.
It's a challenge. Could you hold that? Could you hold that? Thank you.
Can I? I'll sort of I'll talk about the direction.
Yeah.
So this
is still.
As I was saying, this is unusual to be sitting and talking. What other sorts of things do we normally do in the makeup room?
Don't tell me.
Oh, okay. Well, I sometimes watch films, listen to music. Yeah, we watched all the Leprechaun movies once, didn't we?
Yeah, it was great.
And sometimes I have breakfast as well. Yeah, porridge and toast.
Are you getting an idea of just how boring a makeup can get? One of the problems with this kind of makeup is that it takes a fair old time, and doing it once is quite fun. Doing it twice is okay. Doing it on the same guy, however interesting he is, for a year, you do run out of things to do and say. My way of getting around that is doing things like writing obscene messages on them before you put the pieces on, so that, usually mirror writing, you know, so they can see it in the mirror, and then it's there all day, and you know what's written on their forehead, even if nobody else does. This has gone wrong in the past. I do recommend an eyebrow pencil, works a treat. Don't do it with Sharpies, because the word starts to bleed through the prosthetics during the course of the day. And I don't remember what the word was on that day, but it wasn't good.
It was a rude one.
Yeah. But I think it's very important with a job. Some people get very, very anal. Am I allowed to say that? Yeah. I've always regarded this as fun, and I think if you're doing any job over and over and over, you try to find ways to just make it interesting, to spice it up. One of the things we did on one occasion was, and nearly happened today when I realised my brushes weren't here, was discovering that you can put a makeup like this on with one cotton bud. It almost worked. But just as a trial to do it. And I sometimes with assistants would, you know, a really good assistant knows where everything is, they lay it out, so you reach out your hand and there is that brush. You'd be doomed if you try that with me, because I will deliberately use the wrong things in the wrong order just because I'm bored. And it is a bit of a trial for people who assist me. It's quite handy working here with Steve, because he has no common sense either. And so between us, we somehow managed to get it done. One of the tricks here...
Why did they just laugh? What happened to me? What are they doing to me?
Nothing. I don't even drink. One of the things we also like to do is to involve other people in the makeups and, you know, let people see what it's like, because this isn't rocket science, which you're probably discovering. It's all pretty straightforward stuff, and just involving people in it is quite fun. So I thought what we might do while we're doing this is just grab somebody from the audience to come out and, you know, sort of take over.
Hang on, they never mentioned that.
There's lots of evidence.
Have these people been security screened?
No, I doubt they've even washed.
So, Steve, what are you doing at the moment? Because I can feel there's not glue that you're using now, it's another chemical.
Yes, I can't tell you what it is, because this is a sample, just to...
Is it the alcohol?
Yeah.
Well, what are you doing with the alcohol? You're working with the edges, aren't
I'm
you?
working with the edges. I think that trend of blending into the skin. But this piece is sat on a shelf for multiple months.
I should point out all of these pieces were made on Potter. They weren't made for this, so they have been sitting for nearly 2 years.
So it's kind of beautiful.
So it's working, but we did have a conversation this morning where we were going, forehead piece? No, is it chin piece? No. There was a big conversation about whether he even had ears on. But apparently he does, because I've got them here. And for some inexplicable reason, the girls backed free. And it gives you an idea of just how puzzled we are, really. That I'm not questioning that. I'm just wondering why, and whether there is a third ear, and whether I should be putting it on.
Remember this?
And yeah, it would be nice, guys, remember this, when you use this particular product, the flat gel, just try and warm it nicely to sort of a room temperature before you apply it. It feels like a piece of sort of cold ham. So just warm it nicely, just gently. Do be considerate, as I said, of the artist. Thank you for it.
It does work best from the fridge, just so you know. How are we doing? Okay.
C'était mieux au fond du ciel.
At 18, 19 minutes?
It feels like it's going well. Is it good okay?
No, it's not crap. It says we do it in an hour. I never said what it would look like. None of them check the small print.
So you always have the pieces pre-painted, because obviously, you know, it's more a bit ahead, you know what I mean? That you always, that's the technique, isn't it?
Yeah. Anything you can do ahead of time to ensure that you buy time on the day, you do. So it's like, you know, all the hair is punched in, the eyebrow hair is all done with a needle one at a time for every day. Every character on Potter, the eyebrows were punched for every day of shooting. So you're talking about a huge number of crew endlessly punching hair until their brains turn to mud. But it's much better than stuff on lace. And it moves right, and it just photographs right. You can go in very, very close.
Nick, do you have a favourite material you work with as far as prosthetics goes?
Gin.
I'm trying to be educational.
Yeah, it's not working. I love flat gel. We played around with silicone for years, because originally we did everything in foam latex, and actually if we had one more pair of hands up here, somebody from the audience, you with the red scarf. It's like a generation gap, isn't it? Great.
But Nick, I don't need a massage.
Have you ever been humiliated? No, you get back here. You get back. Just keep your hand there while Steve does the gluing, just so I can talk for a second. Alright? If it goes wrong, it's your fault. Forgot what I was going to say now. Completely forgot.
You're talking about the types of makeups.
Oh yeah, we always use a foam latex, which we used for years and years and years, which is a great material, does lots of things. Silicone, because it's translucent, it looks like skin. In the last 10 years, you've seen a lot of makeups done in silicone, and if it had been run in foam, the makeup just looks better in silicone. There's no doubt about it. It's a nice material. It used to be very unreliable. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. We spent some years trying to get it to be more efficient and reliable. It got very scary on movies like The Fifth Element and things like that. We experimented. Phantom Menace, not a movie we tend to talk about much, but we experimented with a lot of stuff. Paul Spateri did an awful lot of silicone stuff. He's sitting over there. He should stand up and take a bow, because embarrassment can be spread. Yeah.
Thank you for my face.
He spent years spending a very large amount of my budget working out how to make silicone work. And a lot of what we do now, you know, has come through people like him figuring out how to make this stuff functional, because it's all very well making something work just once. It's got to happen every single day, all the time. So, getting it to the point where we trust it is fantastic. That's bloody close. So, we use this stuff, it works better, it warms up eventually to sort of body temperature, actors like it, because it sort of feels like flesh. It moves much more realistically than foam ever did. But it is heavy. So, unlike a foam makeup, if it's a big alien creature-y thing, which doesn't weigh much because it's foam, if you do it in flat gel, it's a heavy material. On Potter, we had some guys playing giants. They were enormous people, very big, great big fat guys, but the heads they were wearing weighed kilos. And it moved great and it worked great, but it was incredibly heavy. So sometimes we make silicon pieces with foam inserts inside to get the weight way down, if we can, because eventually an actor will just fall over. And if you're doing a creature, say, with a very long nose or very big ears, you will actually make your silicon in different densities, because what moves really softly, say, on the cheek, if you do it to a nose, just looks rather embarrassing, especially on a cold day. So you tend to want to make a stiffer mix for the nose or long ears, things like that. And in the same mould, pour in a softer mix for all places that actually move well.
Yeah, I remember that was one thing about this. It's not this particular makeup, but certainly the grip of makeup was quite heavy.
He did complain.
Yeah, because I mean, your neck muscles are very finely balanced to support the weight of your head, which has been there for years on most of us. But then when you add sort of a load of extra weight in different places, the neck muscles sort of are out of tune a bit. So it does take some getting used to. But ultimately, it looks a lot better and it is more comfortable once it warms up, because it doesn't tend to pull. A foam latex piece, it sits on you, but then it fights you when you try and move your face. It always wants to spring back to its sort of original shape, whereas the plant gel, you can kind of hold it in different positions, and it doesn't fight you so much as a performer. So
you just hold it something like that. Right?
So that was the intelligent bit for the whole thing.
That was brilliant, actually.
It
threw me.
I was very impressed, actually. Never heard you speak like that before.
No.
So,
I've been rehearsing.
well,
You went to get to the song. Now.
Oscar nominated, this chap here. Yeah, woo, there's one whoop there. Probably in America.
No, it's Mark Pillian, who's also Oscar nominated.
Two Oscar nominated people.
Mark also worked on Potter for a very long time, so he's got an active hand in 2 nominations, which goes to show even with no dress sense, he can really succeed in this.
If you do win, you've got to remember who you've got to say thanks to. You got all that thing.
Yeah. I had a very interesting email from Rick Baker. I hadn't really thought about it until he sent me an email, and you should take note of this, Mr. Coulier. He said, memorise your speech, practice it in front of a mirror, get it to 40 seconds, no more, no less. Make sure you are word perfect. And up to that point, I hadn't really worried at all. Because I thought, because all I was thinking, if you do win, you just get up and say what, occurs to you.
Well, the word Warwick doesn't take very long to say, so definitely into your 40 seconds.
That is true, yes.
Plus a couple of nice adjectives.
Yeah, I love you. Now.
So how am I looking? Am I transforming into Professor Flitwick?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, sort of vaguely.
It's nice to be doing this again, because how long ago did we last do this? It's
Year and a half.
been a year and a half, and we never thought we'd do it again, so thank you for this great pleasure.
And that wants to be done the glue claw.
Yes,
No.
I used to
And such
suffer,
lick of glue goes on.
because
And
I
because of
can't,
Warwick's height, he often elbowed me right in the Niagara Falls. Never touched the girls, though.
no,
No.
Different.
Yes. Do you see how far away I'm working?
So I think my fingers.
Yeah.
Beautiful, you can't see the edges.
That's because I'm over here.
It's very interesting for me as an actor sitting in makeup chairs and working with various different makeup artists, even within the same production sometimes. They have their own way of doing things often. And Nick, certainly as a makeup artist, when he's doing a prosthetic, he likes to get it on quite quickly. He's, and this is right up his street trying to do this in an hour, but he does like to get it glued on, where other people, I think, Stephen maybe fits into this category, is much more meticulous initially.
He farts around.
And sort of lays it on and sees whether it fits right and that sort of thing. So, but I mean, I wouldn't say there's a right or wrong in either of those methods. I'm just explaining it. Did I do that?
I think they're believing it too.
This is my heart.
So, Stephen, you're putting this alcohol on here now. For what reason?
To keep you,
Does it allow you to sort of blend off the edge a little bit?
yeah, because the edges are made of cat plastic that encapsulates the silicone, and this Just kind of blends it into the skin.
Dissolves it. There's a word we could use, couldn't we?
Very legal.
One of the things we're doing also to speed things up is we know where the moustache goes, we know where the wig goes. I never waste my time trying to hide an edge. Okay, there's only one place it's likely to go. Though we do, for some strange reason, have two. I never waste time on something. If you know the wig's going over, this edge here doesn't interest me. There's no point in fussing. I have seen makeup artists who will blend the whole thing in perfectly, as if they've forgotten which bits are being covered. It's like making the edge here disappear, knowing somebody's wearing a shirt and a high collar. There is no point. The only important thing is what time they're going to make you come in the morning. And if you can shorten that time at all, it's better. Also, it has to be said, if an actor sat in a chair for 4 hours and is then expected to do some brilliant performance, you are asking a lot of them.
But some of them can do it.
Yeah.
You were supposed to say that, as you've said that statement, follow it on.
Yeah, I was trying to think.
Closed.
What's your name, by the way? Okay, what's your name?
Oh, she's still here. Is the volunteer lady still here?
Yeah, she's still here.
What's she doing back there?
She's being the scapegoat.
And you also like to get you like to get the hair on, don't you, as well, Nick? So let's see the shape when you pop it on.
Oh, I like
everything together.
Offering up a wig as early as possible because it's such a fundamental part of the character. It just shows you, sort of where you're going.
See?
Yes.
You were my eyelash.
Really?
Yes. As I said, as blinded as professionally as possible.
I can't see it.
Well,
You've got your new glasses as well.
just here. It's fine, we can leave it there.
Well, that's better.
We always used to glue Warwick's eyelashes together and people thought it was incompetence, whereas of course it wasn't. Yeah.
So sometimes when you do these makeups as well, you're obviously working in tandem with other departments. Like you've got the sort of wig making people who do the hair and all that sort of thing, eyebrows and stotches, and then you've got sometimes you work with dental technicians. Is that what they're called?
It's what they're professionally called, it's not what we call them.
So they provide different teeth sets for different characters, and then you've got lens technicians or optometrists. What do you call them?
We call them
Thomas.
We call them Gemma. We call them Gemma. She's here somewhere, so I think she does.
So you sort of work with all of those people to bring all of this together, don't you? Sometimes?
Yeah. Right, what do above that line? I'm just getting there around the eyes. And what's the other area like? If I just slide that way. Oh my god, wow.
So notice how Nick and Stephen here, you're constantly checking that I'm okay, am I comfortable, do I need anything? That's exactly how you should also behave as well.
Got a cup of tea then anymore?
No, alright, thanks for asking.
Got some gin now.
About this point, I would normally order porridge and toast, but...
You would. You'd also go off for a wee.
No, I don't think I ever did. I'm quite good like that.
No.
Do it in situ.
Yes.
No. Sorry, I just realised what you said. That absolutely never happened. Oh,
I'm mopping up.
Yeah. How long is it in stuff?
We'll cover that.
Yeah, cover that, yeah, right. Just checking.
And as it is all the bits on, because I'm not seeing the mirror, I can't tell. It is all on there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. I mean, on is such a sort of difficult word, isn't it? Now, we're gluing it on with Talisa's 5 because it's quick. We've got about this much we discovered this morning, so we're making it stretch out. because we're no longer on Harry Potter, so suddenly it's like, oh, we haven't got them yet. But
are there different? There's so this is 5, but then when you overlap a piece of silicone onto another piece, do you have to use a different type of Talesis? Is that right?
well, we do sometimes use all sorts of things. We use cross-aid a lot, which is great for just stippling over edges and breaking up texture and sort of bringing everything together. We use a product called 355, which some of you who are old will remember, for lip corners and places where things get damp or wet, because it's just better than anything, but they haven't made it for 30 years. So we've all got little pots of the stocks of it, but it's the best prosthetic glue you could ever have.
Have you got any more of that glue?
I discovered that an old friend of mine has got a litre of it in her garage.
So the makeup artist, because you get a lot of moisture building up in this area, and it's a bit tricky, but I try and maintain the makeup where possible, so I won't have soup or chicken legs for lunch. What?
No, I'm just listening in stunned disbelief. I've seen you eat a bacon sandwich sideways.
I would never do that. No, so it's, yeah, I try and maintain it, because after lunch there's always those sort of post-lunch checks where you come into the makeup chair and there's nothing worse than having extensive parts of it sort of removed with alcohol and then re-glued around this area, so I try and sort of look after it a bit.
Michael Gambon, who played Dumbledore, had this enormous white beard. It used to be put in a sort of sock at lunchtime, tied around the back of his neck to protect it. At lunchtime, he used to drop chips and prawns.
Deliberately?
Yeah.
Yes, deliberately. Those are the kind of people we deal with. Actors. Okay, just close your eyes, Warwick.
Absolutely.
No, it goes against, keep them closed until I tell you to open. Okay, right. Yep. 80.
How much time have we got now?
Depends which watch you look at, but I would say you've got about 20 minutes.
That's right. Leisurely.
Leisurely. Let's. No, you're not going for it. Will you pull your trousers up? Let's offer up this wig.
Now Nick, it's important the wig as well. Obviously you're working to continuity day after day, trying to make me look the same. So is there a sort of way that you determine where the wig would go each time to sort of
Yes.
match? Are you going to let us into that secret, or just say yes?
Yeah.
I'm sort of digging for the secret.
Yep, you line it up by standing behind, measuring one arm length from there, holding it like that, and going. We used to have a little stick that measured down to a crease, which I don't think we've got now, so
It's very technical.
it's very technical.
Wig measuring stick. Yeah.
But a lot of things, because you have continuity with everything, you very often make templates of things, like clear plastic back forms of other bits, so you can offer it up, line up the bit that you're going to stick on, and know that when you take this template away and you glue this piece down, the other bit will fit correctly in the right place. If you're putting wounds on people, very often people do that, so you would literally put the template over, draw through it, take the template away, and it's in the same place every single day. For the goblins, when we did them, everyone had a sort of face template that you put on, so you could put the whole back of head in place, which was ears and back of head in a big heavy piece. And with plat gel, because it's a bit like liver, it can distort. So you want to be able to sort of put the template in, draw around it with an eyebrow pencil, take it away, glue the back on up to that line, and you know that your face piece or set of face pieces will fit into the right place. Other times you just guess, but that's what we do.
So Stephen, you're flicking away here.
Well,
Now explain why you're not just dabbing the brush off the face, which is, obviously what.
well, this is quite a good way of getting quick,
Now you stand there.
way of getting skin illustrated on it. See?
Come on.
So Skin Illustrator is a makeup that's made of
What did I tell you?
stuff, and you mix alcohol.
It's dissolved with alcohol.
Lucky on hit.
Come on. The flicking, it's kind of like an airbrush. It kind of works. I find it works very quickly because you don't have to load up your airbrush. clean your airbrush.
And you sort of build up layers of different colours.
Different starters, and you can build up the layers like watercolour. That's the theory anyway.
Okay.
And each day when you work from photographs and things to be able to match the colour from the previous days, or
Yeah, in terms of general continuity.
something else that's interesting, right? And I didn't know this till I think Nick brought it up one time, is that you also have to consider the type of film stock that they're using on a film, don't you? Because some of it can bring out reds more than others. Isn't that right, Nick?
It used to be certainly the case. Fuji was very green compared to Kodak. Nowadays, with a lot of digital work, things like that, it's a bit different, but you must shoot tests because everything photographs differently. I mean, the thing about a prosthetic is that it is not real. You know, it's fake, it's a plastic material. So it won't photograph like skin. You are attempting to make it look as much like skin as possible, but it's a conceit. So you need all the help you can get, and the actual medium it's being filmed in can be very different. You know, red cameras can do different things. Steve, you're more familiar with me. What's it like from that end?
Drop.
That there? Yeah?
Has high definition made a difference to the way that you work, or are you always doing
Yeah, we've had to get better. It's interesting actually because HD's had a huge effect on television. Movie stuff, you were always trying to make it as good as you could. I always used to say to people, you know, just think about this. Are you happy with that makeup? And then you'd say, right, it's going to be 70 feet across, podium Leicester Square. Are you still happy? Because that's what you are doing it for. And I find, you know, if you just keep that in mind, if it looks brilliant to you in daylight, it's probably going to look okay. And then you colour correct for whatever the medium is. That's a good look, by the way.
I remember going to see my grip hook makeup in IMAX 3D, and it did look amazing. I mean, I don't know how.
I didn't have the nerve.
It was stunning. Of course.
Sorry.
You have to, as an actor, make sure you shut your eyes when somebody's smattering nearby, because you get a drop of that in your eye, and you certainly know about it.
That's when the elbow comes out.
I have that same philosophy when I go to the gyms. Yes, entirely have to think about that.
Can I have some baby wipes? I suddenly feel unclean.
I always come out this way and say, oh, it was washing my hands in the sink splash. It's the tall fella next to me. It's rapidly gone downhill. It was actually becoming quite educational.
Yeah, it was. That's all right. How are we doing? We're doing all right. I reckon we've got about 14 minutes left.
How's it looking? Oh, yes. I shot my ear. You might have to get my wand out and finish.
Not yet. I've seen your one too many times, boy. It just gets over camera.
What are you laughing at?
5 years.
Oh, that's funny.
10 years of this. 10 years. And the second fiddle to somebody on the pier at Bournemouth. Right. Just looks like him. Where's the moustache?
So, Stephen, what are you doing now?
Be quick at things.
So this is grease paint going on my eyes.
Just to do a little bit of
So you wouldn't paint on the actual prosthetic pieces with grease paint, is that right?
You can do. Depends what you want to do. It's useful all over the place. You want to do little touches here and there, like a little bit of shadow like that, on the nose and this one.
Keep on sleeve.
Okay.
Right, I'll get this.
So why are you using grease paint on my eyes as opposed to the real colour?
Yeah, kindness for a start.
Oh.
It's kind of like the skin.
Yes.
In the sense that the eyes, and also just blends nicely. You get nice eye bag under the eye socket and the shadows.
Something like that.
Very good.
You just hold that.
Alcoholic flash up.
What's interesting is they've given us 2 moustaches for Flitwick, and they do not look anything like the same. So I'm slightly puzzled.
All the original.
Oh, listen, mate. If you haven't painted it by now, mate. So, the weird thing is, we've got this on in an hour. It can still take 2.5 hours to take off.
Yes. And you do have that, that's one thing about it, guys. You have to be very careful with the removal. Obviously, it doesn't happen like it does in Mrs. Doubtfire. I've got a little clip of the removal of this makeup at the very end for you to watch. So, yeah, you have to do it very slowly, look after the actor underneath using nice products and things like that. A nice facial is always good as well. Got a bit of freedom.
Oh, I see.
That sort of thing. So you look after them and they will look after you.
He's learned nothing.
I'm trying to influence the next generation.
You know what that means, don't you?
What?
If that's the next generation, it means for us it's all over.
Well, they all look quite young, except also Jerry.
You see that?
Oh, look at there's a load of them down here.
Yeah.
Hang on, there's a load of familiar places down here.
Absolutely.
Notice they've come quite close to the front as well.
It's a bit like when you see the veterans turn out, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some of that.
The red coats. And
Is she still here?
yes.
She's seeing it from the wrong angle. This is not my best side. She's not learning anything back there.
That is your best.
No, it isn't my best side. Sorry, excuse me. Do you want to come round the front and have a look?
You come round the front.
But don't block the camera, please. You might want to scrunch down a bit, but you can't see anything there now either, can you?
Well, I don't see the same one.
She's supposed to be learning. Do you want to be a makeup artist? She did before she came in here, so I don't know.
You're the caterers, aren't you? Oh, which one's she?
Which one's the friend?
You better come up
You
here.
better get up here instead. She doesn't want to be here.